Yeah, YouTubers, Tazman here, bringing you another episode of Fantasy Grounds from the ground up. And in our last episode, we kind of went over you know what, I can't remember what we went over. I had it a minute ago, but it just left me. But in this episode, what I wanted to do is go a little bit into some modules, some actually extensions. And the two I'm going to go over are two that I really have come to love a lot. The first one is called TheoGeeks Improved Critical. You can get both of these on the Fantasy Grounds forums. Just Google Fantasy Grounds and TheoGeeks Improved Critical. And there's also one called Weapon Handling. So Google Fantasy Grounds and Weapon Handling, and you'll be able to find both of these. They are really nice quality of life extensions for Fantasy Grounds, and now that I've shown you this, I actually do not need this copy. The way you actually that is one thing I wanted to do is, so once you've put these in your extensions folder within your data folder within your Fantasy Grounds Unity folder, you simply load up a world, create a world, and then just simply mark these two guys right here: 5e TheoGeeks Improved Critical and Weapon Handling. And I'm not going to hit start because I've already got it loaded. So first of all, the quicker of these two to explain is, depending on your character, let's say you're a barbarian or a fighter. I think, wasn't Dutheon our fighter? Yeah, he's a fighter, level 2. You can actually get quite a messy actions page here, or actions tab, because, for example, we have Battle Axe, we have Battle Axe Versatile, we have Longsword, we have Longsword Versatile, we might have daggers and Throne and all that stuff. What Weapon Handling does is actually give you this new icon. And as you can see, this says this is two-handed. It uses two hands for the crossbow. So what you can do is, you'll notice here the difference between a Battle Axe and Battle Axe Versatile is it's 1d8 plus 4 or 1d10 plus 4, right? If we were to also let's give Dutheon a couple more little weapons just so I can show you what it does. Go to items here, and we're going to give him some daggers. D-A-G-G D-D-D D-D-A-G-G-E-R-S. Actually, it's probably dagger. Hold on. D-A-G-G-E-R. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and give Dutheon a couple daggers here. In fact, it looks like he has 2 daggers. Maybe he already had a dagger. It's not equipped. That must be it. It wasn't equipped yet. There we go. And now that it's equipped, we'll see it added. Am I missing something? Longsword, longsword. I love it when things don't work the way they're supposed to. Dagger. Equipped. We got this all the way up, yes. All right, well, we'll show a different character for the dagger. I'm not exactly sure why it's not showing as equipped. And we definitely have it equipped there. But what I want to show you is this second item here, or this second icon. The normal one is where you can set whether it's melee, thrown, or ranged. So as you see here, it's melee. Actually, it doesn't let you do it anymore once you've I think this mod is disabling that. That's okay. So what I wanted to point out is now we don't need both of these, for example. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure It doesn't specifically say this is for Unity. This is actually the first time I've tried loading it in Unity. So, and maybe it's not working. I don't know. We'll find out. But here we go. We have our battle axe, for example. We have 1d8 plus 4 for regular and 1d10 plus 4 for versatile. However, you can just click on this. Right now it says one-handed, and there we go to two-handed, and you'll see it automatically changed it. So now we technically do not even need this line anymore, because when we decide we're going to use it in a versatile way, we can simply come in here and click on the hands and change it from one-handed to two-handed, which gives us the versatile, and it'll automatically do the switching for us. With crossbow, you can't really change that to one-handed, so as you can see, it does not do anything. I'm kind of interested as to why that does that. So if we go, for example, with a character that Athena, I think she's a rogue, right? Yep, rogue level 2. So for example, Athena here, she has dagger, she has dagger thrown, dagger this, you know. So another thing you can do, say with daggers, is you can actually click it and it turns it into the offhand. Now, difference between a main hand, which is this one, is you get your modifier to that damage. So you'll see here it says 1d4 plus 4 piercing. Then if I'm going to swing it using my offhand, then I can simply just click on that, do that, and it'll just do the 1d4 instead of the plus 4. So really cool little feature there. And it automatically knows the difference between versatile, whether it's thrown, you know, I can throw it with my offhand, I guess, or I can what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, it does work. It just knows that it's either thrown or melee. So anyway, it doesn't do the modifier. So this is one of the mods that I really like because it helps clean up how many of these things you actually have. Now I usually keep the thrown one. I mean, we could easily just do that, but that means anytime I switch it, you know, I have to go update the ammo and stuff like that. So usually I will leave these two, but the really nice one for me is that offhand and the not the offhand, sorry, the one-hand and two-handed, because the only difference there is simply having that 1D, well, depending on the versatile weapon, you know, it does more damage based off of whether or not it is being used as a two-handed weapon. So a staff works that way and everything else. So that is the one. The other one I've actually talked about quite a bit, but I wanted to give more information on it. It's the Theo Geeks Improved Critical. One sec. And this one I really like because a lot of DMs will say, okay, well, you get to roll your damage dice twice. So for example, let's say I get a crit hit on an unarmed strike, right? Just with my hand. Well, normally I get to roll just the 1d4. However, with crit, with rules of crit, I actually get to roll 2d4. And you'll notice, yeah, this was a decent one. However, if it's something that's big, like a 12-sided one, even though we get the crit, there is a chance that maybe I roll a 2 and a 2, or a 2 and a 4, or something really low that makes it really lose that magic of being a crit that I just did. For example, this. You know, if I rolled that as a crit, I would definitely not feel like I actually critted an enemy, especially if I got, say, a 1 and a 1. That's 2. That's terrible. So what this mod does, and once it's enabled, you'll have options at the very bottom called Improve Critical, and it gives you the option of, if we roll a crit, I don't know, let's see if this works. If I say critical and then just roll the die. No, I think I have to have it be a character rolling it. So let's go look in the combat tracker real quick. And let's say Dutheon here is going to, let's make it his turn just in case we have to do that. So it's Dutheon's turn, and I believe this should work if I just click on that. So if we come in here, we can say Dutheon is swinging his battle axe, 1d8 plus 4. Let's make it versatile, just because we can. So if I double click this, you'll see it actually rolled 2 dice. I got a 7 and a 7, but what this does is it maxes out one of the dice, because now that's a crit for me. You max out one dice, and then the other die ends up being whatever it rolls. So I really like how that is. You know, if I say I crit here with my crossbow, I'm going to get the 1d8 maxed on one and not maxed on the other, whatever it rolls, plus the 3. So even though, and it decides ahead of time which one it will be, it won't always be that the higher of the two would end up being the one that turns into the crit. Sometimes it might not be that way at all. Let's try another one here with our slashing. So we have a 4 and a 2. It kept the 4. Does this show you which one it drops or which one it modifies? So I rolled a 7 there and a 7, I believe. 4 and a 7. Kept the 7 there. I rolled a 2 and a 4. I'm not 100% sure if it, I think I have seen it where the value it rolls on the max die actually is higher than what the second die is. I don't know if we can simulate that here or not. We got a 5 and a 4, it kept the 4. There's a good example right there. So we rolled the 5 on the max die, we rolled the 4 on the low die. So I'm glad that actually happened that way. So what I want to do is just quickly show you some of the options that are available here, because there's actually quite a bit here. And let's first talk about under dice to maximize. There's damage dice, there's critical dice, there's both, and there's none. So if you said both, this would maximize both die. So basically you're guaranteed a maximum hit every time. Maybe we should get Dutheon back out here. And I probably should leave this guy open so we can do some testing. So with it set to both, this should make it so with this we'll do 20 damage plus 4, so 24, right? Even though we got a 1 and a 9, we got a 10 and a 10. 14. Oh, it's looking at it as advantage, disadvantage, I think. 8 and 4. 10, 10. This does not. All right, well let's keep playing with it. So here's the definitions for these things. Let's just go over that. So whoops, I need to come back here to improve. All right, so the first option is damage dice, right? Damage dice says all damage dice are maxed, critical dice are rolled, right? All damage dice are maxed and the critical dice is rolled. So basically this is saying the damage dice is actually the one that's maxed. The critical hit is what on top of the max damage is being rolled. I kind of always think of it the opposite way, but I'm not sure it really matters. The next option then is critical dice. And it says all critical dice are maxed, including extra critical dice from features like Savage Critical, Brutal Critical, and Damage dice are rolled. So this would be if you have those additional things, such as Savage Critical, Brutal Critical, things like that, it would max those out and only the actual damage dice is rolled, not the crit. So that, I'm not sure how I would, if I would go that way or not. I think I like damage dice being the one that is maxed out and critical rolled usually. And then of course we did both, where it says both all damage and critical dice are maxed. And then there's none, where it says revert to the standard critical. And just to show you that, if we go to none really quick, just so you can see what it is. If we do that, oh, whoops, I forgot to hit critical. You can see we maxed out our 1, so that was good. Let's try again. So 6 and a 2 on a 10-sided dice, not too bad. It's still a bit more critical than normal. Although I'm still confused, this doesn't seem to be doing the math right. And I'm not sure if that's something to do with Unity, because I swear it does it in Fantasy Grounds normal. So this might be a Unity thing, because 6 and 2 is 8 and 4. Oh, I think it's doing it right, except here 10 10. But is this all right? Let's clear this real quick. The numbers up here are just, they're kind of weird the way it's written, because it's maxing out both of them. I don't know what G stands for. Maybe that's part of it. Let's see. Let's type clear. All right. So, yeah, if we did none, you could get something that definitely does not feel like a critical. You know, 8, 1 plus 4. Let's crit again and see what we can get. 13 still feels like a crit, so that's good. I want something low. Give me something low. That's a really good crit. It's not going to give me anything low. Let's try once more. 2 and 10. Even that's still good. So anyway, it doesn't seem to work quite right with the both, but it seems to be doing everything correct with the one being maxed and the other not. So the next thing we have, I like to leave it just on damage dice. The next one we have is the combat, disable critical damage dice. And is this? There's not much information on this, but this is simply gonna say disable that damage dice, and it's either remove the crit die. I guess this is kind of resetting what this guy is, but there's not, I don't see any actual information on that option. Include the effect dice. Let's see. So our options here are yes and no. And here's what it says. No, damage dice from the effects are rolled as normal. And yes is damage dice from effects such as sneak attack are rolled in calculations above. So that means it's going to include that in this. Which, does that mean it's going to crit? I'm not 100% sure. Usually, so just to let you know, I usually just leave these on the default because it seems to replicate what I like. Which is, I want to max out the rolling dice, the damage dice, and then you roll whatever on top of that as the critical dice. And that way it doesn't add the modifier in until the very end, which I like that. Next we have max if target has critical immunity. And what that says here is yes or no is the options. Effectively bypass this exception and rolls So if you do know, by the way, sorry, it says effectively bypass this extension and rolls damage from the critical hit normally if the target is immune, colon critical, meaning no maxing of anything regardless of other options. So this is basically someone's immune to critical. You can say that you kind of ignore that, it sounds like. And then if you say yes, it still maxes normal damage on a critical hit dice, even if the target is critical immune. If dice to maximize setting is set to a damage dice or both. So that's only if the damage dice up top is set to damage dice or both, not the critical dice. Then we have, I don't think this one's listed in here. Oh, actually it is. Show die roll for targets. Our options here are first only, crit immune, and all. And what it says on those is this setting is only useful when multiple targets are critically hit in one attack. And there is a max of crit immune or non-crit immune targets. Mainly this is to help the DM understand what happens if the if the target has critical immunity is set to no. This is really kind of confusing to read. Since that setting will override maxing roll damage for targets that are immune to critical damage, which makes the damage done to a critical immune target different from the displayed roll for non-critical immune targets. So our options, like I said, are first only display the damage roll for the first target hit. This is normal Fantasy Grounds behavior. Crit immune means display the die roll for the first target hit and all crit immune targets, and then all display the die roll for all targets. And our final setting in here is the they have that one twice, is the temporary calculation fix. And I do not see information on that, but I do remember reading somewhere that this was, I'm seeing if I can find it really quick. Where was that? So basically our options here are on or off, and I can't actually find that, but what I recall it saying somewhere, is it in here? Is that on rare occasions? Oh, maybe this is it. Temporary calculation fix. The purpose of this option is to fix a bug in the 5e rule set in the way that damage is calculated if the damage is critical and the target is immune, resistant, vulnerable to one of the damage types. So generally I don't ever have to really play with that. There's rare occasions that something like that happens. Anyway, so as confusing that is, and I apologize for that, these are both really, really cool mods that I like to add to the game to just add that extra oomph to it, you know, make it that much more fun. And hopefully you guys like this. If you want to see more mods or whatever, I've been thinking of different things to do upcoming, because we kind of covered the majority of the stuff that Fantasy Grounds has to offer, Fantasy Grounds Unity. So some things that I was thinking is we could start doing some spotlights. We could go in and actually work on getting characters in different subclasses, so that you can kind of get an idea how that stuff works. You level these guys up a little ways, so you can see, you know, the leveling process and the different options for that. I don't think we'd go all the way up to 20, but maybe to 5 or something like that, because then you would get kind of an idea of exactly how they level up, what kind of new options are available for different classes and things along that of that nature. So anyway, guys, I'm going to end it here. Like I said, hopefully you enjoyed. I apologize for not be able to explain really well all this critical stuff. But I find that just leaving them on the defaults actually are really good. And they're good mods, both of them. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, check out my Discord. Help me grow my channel by telling people you know about it. They can check it out. If they like it, they can sub, and we'll grow the Tasmanian family even bigger and bigger, which would be awesome. And that's it. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.